Welcome back to the Real Story Gang, where we want to bring you real stories, real life, real application, and bring out the better version of you. Strap up. So my family and we've got this small business in Baltimore. So we wrap box trucks, trailers, and things like that of that sort. And we're part of a community, so it's a pretty tight-knit community amongst people who wrap vehicles and things like that. And I came across this one community where this lady said she felt triggered. And that's quite a word, is triggered. And so she had a customer. The customer wasn't happy with whatever service or product or whatever it is that she had provided. And she actually made it known on her post, and she's asking for people's opinions, what she should do. And then, to me, it's pretty easy what you should do. But the customer was saying, hey, can we meet in person, or can we do a FaceTime or anything like that? And she said her services did not include FaceTime. I thought, man, it's some kind of service, but I'm not going to bash on the lady's business. And I actually ain't even going to bash on the lady. But the reason why I mentioned that is because you ever get a phone call, a text message, an email, and then all of a sudden your brain will just gravitate to the absolute worst of what it could be. It's probably even nowhere near in the vicinity of exactly what it is. It could even be in a personal situation. It might not even be business. It might be a phone call from a doctor, like, hey, can you call me on this so that we can talk about this? And all of a sudden, and because you missed a phone call, you're like, whoa, what happened? Do I got the big C word, or whatever it is? And you will just, your brain will go to Jupiter, man, like all the way. And so, and your thoughts will follow you the whole time as well. And none of those thoughts are probably going to be good. And so it's human nature to kind of gravitate to in that direction. So I know I've had the mindset of, man, when I encounter something, it's like, get it done fast. You make that phone call. The faster you make the phone call, the faster you can figure out what the problem is, and then you can start working on a solution for that. Because otherwise, you're going to have that tape recorder playing in your head again, and all of a sudden, it's like you're taking your stance, you're having your thoughts, you're winning the argument only in your own head. Are you winning the argument? There might not even be an argument at all. This could be just a little small deal that maybe somebody or a customer or a personal situation, like, hey, if I just know. I tell you, one of the worst is when somebody says, hey, I got to tell you something, but we'll talk about it later. It's like, oh no, you're going to stand here and we're going to talk now. We're going to figure out what that puppy is right now. The reason why I want to just share that is because that can rob you of your peace. And here's the thing, is if you could come, especially if it's a bad situation where you think it's going to affect a relationship, kind of like that lady right there and her business and a customer. The best thing that you could do is the faster you make that phone call, the faster you'll figure out what the problem is, and then the faster you could come up with a solution. Don't come to that situation with a hard argument, and I'm going to stand firm, and you signed off on this. Nobody wins on a situation like that. Sometimes you just got to offer grace and mercy to keep a good reputation. But I tell you what, you have the ability to either bring water to the fire or gasoline. And which one are you going to bring? So when you come to that fire, whatever the fire is, are you going to dump water on it and you're going to douse that fire out? And yeah, you're probably going to have to eat a little bit. And that means you're going to have to eat more of your pride than anything else, because your pride's the thing that's really getting in the way. Or you're going to douse some gasoline on it. And you're going to be Mr. or you're going to be Mrs. Right. And then all of a sudden you're going to create this firm stance. Nobody wins. They're going to come back at you. You're going to go back at them. You both depart. And then before you know it, like you're not even going to bed in the right mindset, because you're just thinking about what had happened and how you're still going to win the argument and how you're going to be right. And that's just no way to live. And so the faster you come to that situation with humility and humbleness and love, guess what? The first person it changes is you. The moment you say, I own this, you have to take ownership in this. Even if it's 10% ownership, if it's 20% ownership, 50, 80, you've owned some portion of it. And you got to say, hey, I own this. I screwed up and I own that part of it. It's going to change you first. It'll change your heart condition. And then it'll change the dynamics of how that conversation is going to go, because their heart is going to become much more lighter and receptive of what you have to say, especially if you have a solution to their problem, because they're kind of all angst up because they paid for whatever service or whatever in town, and they think that they're right. And if you just come with humility, tell you what, you could change somebody's heart and you could change that whole dynamic, especially yours. And if you practice that over a period of time, it can become a little easier, and it can become easier. And then you get into this character building moment where you're starting to develop humility, you're starting to develop humbleness. You could even solve problems. You'll actually appear to be smarter and wiser. You might not be any smarter, you might not be any wiser, but you know what? That other person is going to see you as smarter and wiser, because they can trust you, and it builds trust and rapport. So, I just want to share that with you because you deserve to have peace in your life. And the more that you take a stance on your hard platform and your rightness, you're not having peace. You're not bearing fruit. You don't have fruit in your own life. And that's frankly no way to live out a life. So relationships are a give and take. And sometimes you got to die to yourself. And I get it, because some of you die a very hard death. And to be in a leadership, any form of a leadership, man, you better die a hard death, because sometimes dying to yourself when you're a leader, man, that's a real challenge. But when you learn that, when you practice that, when you do that in a repetitive way, it'll become more second nature. And it'll be more and more and more. I'm a person that I screw up a lot of things because I've got a lot on my plate. I know there's times, especially at the age of 52, man, my eyesight's going bad. It's not as healthy as it used to be. And I buck against wearing glasses because I die a hard death. I still feel like I'm 25, but I just don't see like I'm 25. And so I'll have customers, they'll tell me, they say, hey, man, you sent me a duplicate invoice, because in QuickBooks, I'm a little lazy. I'll generate an invoice and then I'll duplicate that thing. I'll change the VIN number on it. And it's like, okay, my job's done faster, until they email me back and they say, hey, you sent me a duplicate invoice. Now I got to go through all the invoices. I got to see, well, is there really one that's duplicated? I got to pull up the pictures. Did I type in the wrong VIN number? Did I type in the right VIN number? But I own that. I tell customers, hey, I screwed it up again. I'll put LOL in the email and just make it lighthearted. And they trust me because I come to that situation with humility. I don't tell them, hey, I'm right, you're wrong, and I see this. Even if they're wrong, I'll still crack a little bit of a joke to bring some lightness to the situation. So I just want to leave you with that kind of a thought. And if you see this video of any value, because we want to help a lot of people out there just develop a peaceful mindset and a leadership mindset and to be the best version of you, I would encourage you to hit like, subscribe, and share the video. And guess what? Strap up. I'll see you next time.